The Alex Belfield In Conversation podcast with daisymedia.co.uk. Alex Belfield.
Michael Buble, thanks for joining us.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Now let's talk about the brand new album, which of course you're here to plug. It's your third album called Call Me Irresponsible. Does this somehow sum up your character?
Sure, I mean in certain ways I am, in other ways I'm very careful, but I think I called it Call Me Irresponsible because I am, and I think in a romantic way. I mean, I could forget Valentine's Day very easily, and I have, and I just did. I think it's irresponsible to fall in love. I mean, you put yourself in a precarious position. You put your lover in a precarious position, but sometimes you just can't help yourself. And one of my favorite things about the song, Call Me Irresponsible, is, you know, he says, you can call me irresponsible, call me unreliable, you can throw in undependable too, but I'm irresponsibly mad about you. And I think that that's very sweet.
I want to talk to you about your voice and your musical beginnings, because you would imagine with such a distinctive, powerful voice that you come from a musical background, but that wasn't the case. It was your grandfather's belief, though, and drive that really made you the man you are today in show business.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there was because I was a kid. I was 17 years old, and these people that own the bars, I mean, it was illegal for me to get in there, you know, unless, of course, it was in a working capacity. So my grandfather would walk in and say to these musicians or the owners, you know, can you let my grandson up on stage with the band? And of course, the owner would say, absolutely not, you know, and who the hell are you? You know, and my grandfather would say, well, listen, I hear that, you know, you have a problem with your hot water heater. Throw in a few toilets for you, or fix the dishwasher, things like this, you know, and he would come in and do it. By the way, the 10-year struggle that I spent from 16 to 26 before I got signed was a wonderful thing too. I played rooms where people showed up and they came to this club to get laid or to get drunk at the very least, and I just happened to be the kid that was hired by the club to be there to entertain them. And, you know, over 10 years I learned how to entertain, how to work a room. It was great because when I got my chance, when it was time for me to get my break, I was ready.
I think one of the things that makes you so distinctive is your absolute confidence on stage and your natural ability to perform. You do make it look very easy, don't you?
I think when you truly, truly love something, it becomes easy. You know, there's not a lot of people in their lives that get to go to work and really, really say, I love what I do. You know, I can't wait to go to work. I mean, it's just not the reality in most people's worlds.
Now, you've sold something like 12 million copies of your first two albums, and my favourite was It's Time. The track Home, I think, is one of the best songs ever recorded, genuinely. But it's really difficult these days to get yourself a niche and find yourself an audience. You seem to have made that look very easy. How have you managed to make such an impact in such a diluted business?
I honestly don't know. I think that I really truly believe that Harry Connick Jr. had it sewn up. But it turns out that the man is a hugely talented artist, and that he showed off his versatility by moving into the acting world. And, you know, I think that gave me a chance, you know. And at the same time, it's not just about him, because Tony Bennett, of course, is still kicking butt. And I think what happened for me is that because I was born when I was born, and because I was as influenced by a Michael Jackson or a Bono or a Beastie Boys as I was by Sinatra or Bobby Darin, I think that naturally my music started to progress towards becoming a hybrid of jazz and pop. And I think what happened was, I think it became more palatable to a younger, more vast audience. And I think that, you know, I was never self-indulgent about what I did. I I didn't want to teach people a lesson. I didn't want to show them how brilliant I could be, or cordially how I could amaze them, or lyrically I could, you know, I just wanted to, you know, my favorite songs were Beatles songs that were 3 chords, and just great songs with melodies that supported the lyric well. And I wanted to make music for the people. I know it might sound cliche, but really, I just wanted to make great music for the people. And you know, I got tired as a consumer. I got tired of buying records for one single or for 2 singles. And I felt I had a responsibility to make records with 13 strong tracks, you know, and no skippers. And I, you know, people complain about, oh, the downloads. Well, you know what? Guess what? I got tired of spending $15 on a record with one song. And so I felt this need to do better than that.
The Alex Belfield In Conversation podcast with daisymedia.co.uk.